to give you an example. Certainly the gematria Mario was mentioning is one of the procedures. Let me remember what gematria is. Just seeing the number and comparing with other words with the same number. I give you an example. One of the practices with numbers is the names of God are so central in the Islamic meditation, in the Islamic spirituality, that most seekers among the Sufis will know the corresponding value of a particular name of God. Normally, they would use the most general system, numerical system, which is called the Major Oriental system, the general one. Well, you get from the 1 to the Gain 1000, the Alif to the Gain. This procedure of interpreting the words is called al-hisab al-jumali. The compute is English? The computation of phrases or of letters. We can interpret both ways. There are other names to refer to different aspects, such as Jaf or other names, or Abjad itself. So, for example, we could call it the Big Abjad or the Major Abjad, this Oriental system. And for example, if you find out the number of the name of God Al-Hadi, the guide, Ha is, oh, sorry, very sorry.
Who's calling?
Should be the first to take it off today. Somebody's numbers. If somebody, so if you find out the number of Hadi, Ha is 5, Alif is 1, Dal is 4, Ya is 10, so 20. So you will establish a correspondence, as in Jewish gematria, with the name, for example, Wadud, where the Waw repeating twice is 6, and the Dal repeating twice is 4. So you get that the same value, Wadud, Hadi. So immediately you contemplate a relationship. And this is something enriching to your contemplation. What would the Sufi do with this value? For example, they would repeat the names of God in sequences of 20. They would say Yahadi 20 times, perhaps 20 different times. They would deal with the letters as well as with the number of the meaning. And immediately this connection of the loving one, the Wadud, the constant in love, and the guide is established. Okay, this is this is great in relations. Not only this, but when you see 20 anywhere, you would say, oh, Hadi. So numbers anywhere will talk to you because they refer to names, to qualities, etc. Oh, but there is something I wanted to, before I keep going, there is an essential feature. It's to understand that in Islam, as in any tradition, numbers are not just quantities, but are qualities, as I suggested. I will show it with hadith. For example, the Prophet said, whoever enumerates the names of God will enter paradise. And this is a statement. So you know the list of names of God, you enumerate, and that's it. Or is he saying, whoever actualizes the qualities, whoever comes to know the essential realities of the names and realizes the reality, will come into paradise, will be already in paradise by doing so, right? So the question is that to the ihsa, the enumeration, equals a qualitative process, right? When we say to count, and there are several names of God referring to Al-Hasib, Al-Muqit, there are different names referring to accounting, to numbers, we are dealing with qualitative numbers. Right? So this is essential. We are not dealing with abstract quantities. Every number means a lot of things and is operating in a qualitative manner. For example, 1 immediately will mean unity, will mean indifferentiation, will mean, and it is the single unit that we always repeat in any existent being. For example, 2 is 1, 1, 3 is 1, 1, 1. Any number is always 1, essentially. But the 2, for example, will have a completely different quality. What is it? referring to a duality, right? So we have opposition, we have a couple, a creative couple, but still they do not consider, Sufis, they do not consider the one and the two properly ciphers, properly numbers. They say the first of the afrad, the first of the individuals is the third, because it's where we get manifestation. Why? Geometric reason. The dot is the dot of not manifested. The line among two, the relationship of two, is not yet manifested as a body. It's not embodied in the dimensional realm. The first body, the first form we get is the three, it's the triangle, right? So it's the two generating a third. And so all kind of knowledge of manifestation will have to be based on triads. So the three is in fact the first number from this perspective. Then of course its number is a geometric form, or a cube, or whatever, right? For example, the 4 will, as in the Pythagorean tradition, the tetractys, will contain the 10th, because 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 is 10. So 10 is 1, because we reduce into unity, right? So 4 will be unity as the Kaaba, and will contain the all multiplicity, because it contains all possible numbers. 1, 2, 3, 9, etc. Contains the 10, 1 plus 9, all the numbers, all the instances of existence and life, etc. Each, for example, 5 will refer to our human constitution. Remember this representation of man within a circle, the pentagon, etc. And you know many implications of the pentagon. And so the 6, the hexagon, will have this quality of equilibrium, both directions, etc. So do not forget that as we deal with numbers, we are dealing with forms, with geometry, with bodies, with the essential features of existence. And that ultimately, as every being is seen as a name, also we could say that every being is seen as a number. Interesting when now in nowadays in science they speak of the genome, how is it called? Genome, and they speak of the book of genomes, of genes and things like that. I always think it's a good metaphor for the book of existence and numbers, in fact everything being a name. Somehow we can establish a comparison. It's a little bit out of question because it is not the symbolical approach, but we can include and we can look at this science from the symbolic point of view and understand genes as numbers and names. Also, why not? When they say, oh, when we see from positive science, it seems as if it is separated from symbolic reality. It is not. It is completely symbolic, essentially symbolic. They are doing nothing but symbolizations. Do you agree with this, or we can discuss it later? It's a possible perspective. If we grasp it, it's easy to share. If we do not, it becomes more difficult. Well, to give you another taste, another hadith, this is concerning letters, says, whoever writes beautifully in the Basmala, in the name of God, the most compassionate, the most merciful, will enter paradise. So, if you are a good calligrapher, you write beautifully, that was it. Yeah. So what it means, where do you write this? What does it mean to write it with beauty? It's a qualitative writing, obviously. And so this idea that the scripture and the enumeration are qualitative, I think is essential. So they come together, quantity and quality. They are brought together in this science.